Hey man, it's your boy Sarge, man, on the Iron Elite podcast. Yeah, I know, man. Hey, y'all finna hear the Isleys. I don't care, man. Moving down the highways of my life, the Isleys is a number two best group in the whole entire history of the United States. I'm just saying that. I'm putting that out there right now. But hey, man, I got a special one for you today, a special show today, man. I'm so blessed this brother's in my city. Preach Breed, man. It's the I-10 Preach Breed edition, man. Y'all hang in there. We finna get this thing started, bros.
When you think you're gonna do it?
Hey, man. Welcome to the Iron Elite podcast show, man. We're gonna be talking today. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about motorcycling. We're gonna talk a lot of motorcycling, man. Cause I got my man Preach Breed in the house today, man. Let's give it up for Preach. Hey man, so happy Lord. I think it was Wednesday. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Hey man, appreciate you guys coming aboard with us today, man, because we're gonna be talking about motorcycling. We're gonna be talking about not only I-10 to the end, but we're gonna be talking about getting I-10 to the end. Cold weather edition, you dig? Cold weather, man. You know Sarge don't like no cold weather, man. I only do it if I got to. But I'm talking to a man today who could do it like it ain't nobody's business, man. Preach, man. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about you, man.
Hey man, y'all already know what it is. Preach, Preach Breed, aka Mr. No Trailer, aka most importantly, Las Vegas Rare Breed, member of the Empire.
The
Strong
Empire.
Day.
That's what's up, man. So I got Preach Breed in the house today, man. He's blessing us. He's here in Jacksonville, Florida. He's in the Iron Elite podcast studio. And man, he's gonna kind of help us with this whole I-10 to the end get on, especially for us riders that's gonna be doing this thing during cold weather. We're gonna do a little bit different spin on it today. We're gonna talk about it from the cold weather side. How does a guy like Preach, who's a ground pounder for real, how does he plan, prepare, and execute a ride safely and successfully, man? So that's what we're gonna get in today. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. So, hey, Preach, if you don't mind, just okay, man. So you hail from the West Coast, am I correct?
Yep.
So he comes from the West Coast, man. I ain't gonna lie, West Coast is the best coast. I said it, and I ain't taking it back. That's what I said. He came from the West Coast, left coast edition, to do the 10 to the end. He decided to do this thing, man, in December. I don't understand it why. I think he's a little crazy, but hey, man, we're gonna get into it. So Preach. So okay, man, I'm gonna kind of tee this thing up a little bit. Say a guy say Sarge decided for the first time he wants to do the 10 to the end. He wants to go across in the month of December. How would I start to prepare, especially somebody who's never rode in, say, cold weather conditions for a long period of time? How would I start to prepare myself in my motorcycle, if you don't mind?
So for me, my process is a little different. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start looking at the weather. Like I'm gonna look at 10 days out. Because if you figure SARS a challenge takes 7 days, right?
Correct.
So you need at least 10 days of weather. Um, a lot of people use different apps. I use Highway Weather as an application. They just updated that app about a year ago. You can get live radar on it. It allows you to modify the time. So if I say I want to leave Wednesday at 5 p.m., I can do this Wednesday or I could do Friday. And
Okay.
it's going to give me kind of a gauge of what the weather's going to look at like during traveling times. I start with that first so I can get an idea of what the extremes are going to be. Is it going to be real cold? Is it going to be rain? Are there any weather warnings along the way? Like the only weather warning when I planned this one was possible flood warning in northern Florida as you come across that panhandle. Other
Right.
than that, though, sunny.
Okay.
It also gives you wind shear. Like, what's the wind going to be like? I look at that first. Then it goes to my gear. And
Well, if you don't mind, let's take it back to the weather app. So, do you start working your weather plan? Do you start working that like 7 days out, 10 days out, 3 days out? How do you?
good question. I start um, 10 days.
Okay.
I start looking at a 10-day window.
Okay.
So, obviously, you only can do 10 days from the day of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as many days out as I can, I will. If it's a shorter time span, I'll do 5 day or 7 day or whatever it is. So I start with that day. Like, for example, when I called, what was it? Must have been Thursday night we talked on the phone. Was it
Yeah, I
Thursday?
think we took Thursday. Yeah, it was probably about 4 days.
Yeah,
4 days, 5 days before you got ready to take off. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday,
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday. So I left Sunday. It was probably Thursday. We were talking about the idea of it. Another thing you asked, you said why in December?
Yeah.
Hey, when you work full time, you get it how you live. I mean,
Hey man, you get the days that the boss gonna give you.
yeah, you get if the
Yeah.
calendar's not
Yeah.
available. Because if you remember, we talked at the beginning of the year. I've been wanting to do this ride all year.
I remember. I remember.
But, work and life, all that stuff happens. So you have to take it when you can get it. Luckily, when I look 10 days out, I'm like, man, 40s and 50s. Now, the caveat to the app is this.
Mhm.
If it says 40s and 50s, because that's what it says,
Mm-hmm.
you got to leave room for nature.
For sure.
So if it say 40 to 50s, I'm really thinking 30s to 60s.
Mm-hmm.
10 up, 10 down. Because coming across Florida,
Mm-hmm.
that was when I got them 30, 35.
Oh, for sure.
It
That
was
panhandle.
35 from Pensacola to the sign.
Yeah, that panhandle don't play no games with you.
Yeah. And it's different depending on what elevation you at.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. I mean, 40 in California is not 40 in Florida.
Right.
It's different. Yeah.
Okay, so weather apps important. Would you say non-negotiable?
No, yeah, that is a non-negotiable.
I think that's a non-negotiable.
A weather
negotiable.
app, and don't just use one. You gotta
Mhm.
compare information. Think about it like this. They say if you terminally ill or you got a sickness,
Mm-hmm.
doctor always says get a second opinion. If you're doing maintenance on a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
they say get a second opinion. You got to scratch. You got to get multiple estimates.
Right.
I mean, all that stuff's transferable. So I look at weather radar, highway
Mhm.
weather, the Weather Channel app. Flacco gave me that one.
Oh, the Weather Channel app? Yeah, I got that.
But matter
I
of
got
fact,
that, actually.
and then your brothers. So I can
Mhm.
call you and ask you what the weather's like in your area. It's funny. It just when I said the Weather Channel app, I sat in Flacco's kitchen on a trip like this, just
Mhm.
random. I'm gonna get up and do it, and we talked about the weather. At that time, I wanted to go to the Carolinas.
Mhm.
Flacco said, "Hey, bro, there's a storm up there." So we pull up the app and we looking at the real time radar.
Right.
And I was like, I won't get behind it. Maybe I can get behind it.
Uh-huh.
And so we talked. We were in Savannah. We talked about me coming here.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh yeah, go to Jacksonville. Then you can probably get yourself behind the storm,
Mm-hmm.
and then you ride behind it, going back over. Because I was gonna go up and then over to St. Louis and down to Dallas
Mm-hmm.
for Midway run. So I get to Jacksonville. It was cool. Got with Trey. Got with the bros here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that storm still ain't moving. So Miami's just down the street.
So let me stall out to get out of Miami for a
Let me
little bit.
stall it out.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
went to Miami.
Uh-huh.
Hung out there. Bro say, preach when you leaving.
Uh-huh.
After this picture, I'm going to go back to Georgia line. But so I got behind it. The point of it is use multiple sources. And so I learned about the Weather Channel app from my brother, taught me that one. And so I'll use 2 to 3 different ones, and then you compare and contrast. Some of them are going to be the same, and some of them are going to be different. But that's how you know you're in the right vein, if you will. If they're similar, 2 or 3 degrees difference, the reporting is similar, then that's more than likely what you're going to get. Because what's weather anyway? Best guess.
Well, it's moving cells anyway. Yeah, it's just the cell moving across.
Right.
And yeah.
Right, but we listen at the weatherman. It's best guess.
So okay, so give me 1 second. There you go. I'm gonna add another one on. Okay, now I'm straight. So weather app, 10-day forecast, talking, double checking, cross checking. Okay, so this type of year, and oh, by the way, we did a show on this just Saturday.
Yeah.
Equipment,
Okay.
equipment and uniform. Do you even advise running Yonda, this degree of Yonda, and Yonda being 800 miles or more? Bless you. From what I've been told by the G's, do you even suggest making this trip without a heated suit?
No. No.
Okay, that was easy. That was
So,
easy
I mean, look, I'm PG, but
Yeah.
hell no, I almost slipped out.
for sure.
So, Sarge, I don't ever recommend if you riding anywhere, no matter what time of year it is. It doesn't take a lot of room to pack your heated gear, your rain gear, and a layer of clothes.
For sure.
It's stay ready. That's you got to have that mentality. This, no. Well, I mean, it's you set yourself up for failure because what happens when you be on the ground, man?
For sure.
Chilling, you be on the ground when you
Yeah.
cold, wet. Them two components are prime or hot, overly hot. Those three things fatigue you.
Not only that, hypothermia.
Yeah, they
Hypothermia, pneumonia.
You get sick,
Yeah,
all
for sure.
all
For
that
sure.
stuff. We've had. I think there was a brother that did the ride and got sick on it doing the social experiment. I don't remember. I think I saw somebody got.
Yeah, I think that was Carl, but Carl was coming off COVID. He was dealing with COVID, so he had the after effects of dealing with COVID as well as the weather. So
Right.
yeah, that was a tough one, man.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to my man Carl, still riding
yeah,
across Texas like it's nobody's business.
Because
Yeah.
he a trooper.
Yeah, he is.
And for
He
me
is.
to see a brother like that, I'm like, oh, if it just reminds us that you got to be physically. So let's start there.
Right.
Before any of this, your health has to be at a place to where you can do it because you're gonna put your body through extremes.
Right.
Whether it's no rest or sleep, whether it's the inclement weather, you got to at least have a baseline. So you got to at least be feeling good to do it. You know what I'm saying?
So when we say okay, heated suits. Obviously, for those who hadn't had a chance, check out the first part of the series of the Road to Earn Elite, where we bring guys on. We brought guys on like Preach, like Reef, like Big Country. We brought a bunch of guys on, about 4 or 5 guys on, and we talked about nothing but equipment for riding in cold weather. So please, if you hadn't a chance, to go back and review that podcast on riding in cold weather or cold weather uniforms. So let's talk about this, if you don't mind, real quick. We understand the cold weather suit, but when you say layer up, what do you mean layer up?
Okay, so you making a cake. That's the easiest way to put it. You making a cake. You got a layer. You got icing. You got another piece of cake. You got icing. You got your top layer to build the cake. Same with your clothes. You got to think base layer is whatever's touching your skin.
Gotcha.
You start there. You want something that's gonna either be able to retain heat or cool. If you can get both in one, you winning. You got that layer. Then there is a heated layer, and then let's call it icing after the heated layer. So for me, it's merino wool.
Okay.
That's my base layer.
I'm trying to get that now.
That's my base layer.
Okay.
The second layer is going to be my heated gear. And then if I do a third layer, icing, let's call this, because sometimes you can have 4. It might be something like the Under Armour on top of my heated gear to keep the heat from escaping, right?
Okay.
And then for me, I'm old school. I'm still leather top, leather pants, Chippewa boots, and then heated inserts in there.
Chippewa boots. That's for those motorcycle riders who got money.
Yeah.
I saw somebody. I thought it was low key that put on the Earn Elite page. I think he put a website or a link for those
Yeah.
Chippewa boots.
Yeah, yeah, you can
Yeah,
still find them.
yeah. I
You can
gotta
still
peep
find 'em.
those. I gotta peep those.
You got a lot
Yeah,
of riders that do a lot of different things. Though I see,
yeah,
look, I'm looking here. I see Snacks, Savage,
yeah, yeah,
old Savage out here.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out to that. Now that's a rider.
Are you talking about snacks?
Uh huh.
Oh
That's
man, snacks. Snacks is my people. 50 grand.
what?
Hey,
Rider.
snacks is on this kind of level of ride, man. She do her thing,
God,
and she ain't playing.
they say a God tier.
Yeah,
That's God
yeah.
tier right
And when you start off riding, and you leave your house, and you might see cats and dogs, and maybe a couple coyote, and then when you get to the end of your ride, you seeing penguins, bro. You riding. I'm just saying, you riding, right? You ain't playing no
there.
games with it.
Look, I'd be like, I didn't even know they had them outside. Damn. I didn't know that they
Hey,
did that.
hey, man. Hey, I said there's echelons to this here thing, man.
Yeah,
So,
man, it's different.
so we got pretty fortunate. The weather, I think, for the most part, when you left California, what were you dealing with temperatures?
Uh, you know, I started. I went Phoenix to California.
Cali, that's
that was,
right.
That was, yeah, that was a good ride. You know, 60s,
Mm-hmm.
nice. And then once I got around the LA area, it's 70s. You
Oh
know,
wow, yeah. Shout out to LA,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It was 70,
Wow.
71. Yeah, got the fellowship with the bros. You know what I saw that was real interesting there, Sarge.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Mother Chapter. They do that annual Unity toy drive. So
Okay,
I got to fellowship with the bros.
I saw that.
But what I appreciated about it is I'm from Mississippi. I grew up in Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
so you ain't ever had to worry about me getting sick in the winter because I ain't finna be in the snow. You got it, you got it, dog. I'm not doing
Yeah,
none of that.
yeah,
But they had snow where the kids, I guess maybe some ice making company made it.
yeah.
But they had
Right there on Santa Monica Pier.
yeah. They had on the side of the clubhouse. They had a little part where they built a snow hill.
Oh, that's
And the
crazy.
kids were sledding.
That's crazy.
So it just
Yeah.
growing up in that to
Mhm.
see that was honestly my first time seeing it
Mm-hmm.
done like that. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And the
that's
kids-
crazy. I saw it on your video.
yeah,
Very,
kids had a ball.
very
with it.
nice. It looked like it.
Yeah,
It
they
looked
had a
like it.
ball with it. Yeah. So real good weather in California. The pier was good weather. Now I start with my heated gear on
Mm-hmm.
this time of year, and I'll kind of open up stuff if I'm warm, so I don't have to take it off and put it on.
Right.
When I got to LA, I took the heated top off. I left the pants and everything on because when I started coming back,
Mm-hmm.
that's once it gets dark, that's when you start feeling it. Like the sun leaves, and
Mm-hmm.
it might be 60 in the morning time with sunlight. It's just different
Mhm.
than 60 at night.
So when you started off, obviously leaving California that morning, I think what you said, 60s or
So when
60s.
I left because it was the evening, I got to California. It was about 6 o'clock when I started
Right.
from the pier.
right.
It's 50 degrees. 50
Okay.
degrees, so.
And at that point, to me, I'm going to be in heated gear even at that
Mhm.
point because obviously coming from your ride, you're going to be in about an hour you're going to start dealing with higher elevation. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're gonna as you go. Well, it was different for me, Sarge. Remember, I think I said it on one of the updates. I got to train my mind not to
Mhm.
go to 110, not to go to 60 because it's 10 to the
True.
end.
True.
So
True.
it was a little different until I got basically on the 10.
Mm-hmm.
Although I followed it like through the little cities in California.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then the elevation changes and it gets cold because you basically in the desert at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it changed, and I typically expect in the winter, like in the winter months, when I ride, I might see it shift 10 to 20 degrees. Like it might be 60 at one elevation. I get to Palm Springs, it might be 45.
So when you're dealing with that and you're dealing with weather changes, obviously you said that you have your layers, you have your base layers, and then you have your heated suit. Say you take off and it's 40 degrees. You left, LA around 6 p.m. Maybe you rode, it was cold consistently, and then all of a sudden you got in the temperatures that's maybe 25 degrees warmer. Do you take any layers off? Do you take anything off? You stay consistent.
No, I keep
Okay.
Once I start with it, it'll have to
Yeah.
be an extreme change.
Change. Okay.
Summer months is about the only time you'll see it.
Yeah.
I've started in Seattle at 46 degrees, going to Vegas, and by the time I get to, everybody knows Baker is probably one of the hottest parts, like Death Valley area.
Right.
It's 120, 115.
Yeah.
So I typically will keep them on, and then I gauge it at the gas stop. I was like, I'm gonna go one more gas stop like this.
Okay.
And then I might take off a piece.
So okay. Well, let's talk about this. How did you? Okay, you do this a lot, so your body's conditioned. So, but say if it's somebody like Sarge who's never done this before, and I'm just joking, because somebody gonna say, "Man, how you running shit? He never did." I'm just joking, man. I'm just playing. I'm using myself, so I don't have to use nobody else.
Yeah.
But so, how do I prepare my body? Because I'm gonna prepare my body maybe a little bit different in the summertime versus I'm gonna prepare my body in the wintertime. What are some things that you do maybe a couple, 2-3 days out to get your body ready to deal with the elements and to be able to ride for long distances at a time? Is it the same formula or you do something different?
No, I'm pretty meticulous. Anybody that really knows me, they know I'm a creature of habit with everything. So let me backtrack to before I just kind of go because I'm consistently doing it. So my body's used to it. So when I prepared to take my first cross-country trip, I started out riding short distances. Like I'd ride 100 miles when I transitioned from sport to Harley, and I ride 200, and so on and so forth. And I think what kind of built up my stamina for being in the seat was running. There's a loop you can do. It's roughly 1,000 miles. You go from Vegas to Phoenix, Phoenix to LA, and then back to Vegas. That's roughly 1,000 miles.
Okay.
And so before I took my first trip, like the month before, every weekend I rode that.
Wow. Okay.
And then I would, same with my gear. I would try to go a little bit further with the gear on. And so for a new rider, you have to get out there so you can kind of feel what it's like. Like you got to know how you feel when you're fatigued. Because we think about it. We all say we're going to get out and get to it. And the excitement of the ride, that first 100 miles, that first thing, that's there. That's there.
Yeah.
That's there, right?
Yeah.
Right? But your stamina, that's when the training kicks in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You think about amateur and you think about professional.
We used to call it the Marine Corps mind over matter. That's when you have to really get locked in and get into your mentals.
Right.
Yeah.
So whatever your said process is, when you start it, you amateur at it.
For sure.
So you practicing it, just so you get everything right, right? And then it's levels to it. We talk about this all the time.
For sure.
For those that would consider themselves a pro or let's say advanced level, I think I'm an advanced level.
I think that's safe. I think that's safe to say. Yeah.
I think I'm so my thought process is this. I do it this way consistently in that routine so I don't get it wrong.
That part.
Like it ain't about getting it right. I just don't want to get it wrong. Right?
I got you.
And that's the difference. So that same logic can be with anything. You're amateur at something, free throws. You want to shoot them boys, shoot them till you make them. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to miss.
Right.
But then when you see cats like Steph Curry, he shoot that boy just because he got to get his shots up. He's gonna shoot 1,000 because he's not gonna get it wrong at the end of the game, and this is a game winner.
So he's consistently practicing even while he's in the game.
Same motors.
Yeah. Repetition.
Same thing we doing with motorcycling, man.
Yeah.
You practice it. Every time you see me out there, I'm practicing and refining the process. I learned a lot on this ride that I'm gonna use on the next one.
Wow. So okay, just summarizing. Okay, we just talked about equipment and uniform. We just talked about the weather apps and understanding the importance of studying weather before the ride. And oh, by the way, studying weather before, during, and in the midst of the ride. we've talked about conditioning. You know, in my opinion, you know, I know Preach does this a lot, so his body's consistently conditioned. But in my opinion, preparing for a long distance ride should be the same in the summer or the winter.
Yeah.
Hydration plan, eating, sleep. Would you agree with
I
that?
agree. I agree.
And I
Hydration, especially, Sarge. I think that's
always,
that's the thing that
always,
people miss. They think because you're hot, you want water.
yeah,
You hydrate in the wintertime the exact same.
exact same way.
So for me, my issue is I don't like. Notice I asked for room temperature water.
Same here.
I have to have a room. So when I go to a gas station, in the winter months,
Mm-hmm.
I'll honestly uh, ask them if they have any water that they hadn't put in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, then I'll take whatever they give me, but
Mm-hmm.
hydrate because I try to be efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not finna sit at the gas station all day.
Trying to hydrate. Hey, so check this out. A couple of people have told me that they're having a hard time hearing us. If you can hear me okay, give me a 1 in the chat. If you can't, give me a 2, and we'll try to work the mics a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn your mic up a little bit, and I
I'll
know I
move
can
it a
just
little.
lean on mine.
Okay.
If we have to, we can adjust yours a little bit on that boom arm to see what happens.
Okay.
So, okay,
Test,
so I'm
test.
getting ones. I'm getting ones. So I feel pretty comfortable about that.
Okay.
So, they say preach is low. Let's try now. Snacks, are you low? If you have to,
Can you hear me, Snacks? Snacks, can you hear
snacky
me?
snacks. Hey man, I ain't got time today. Y'all play.
Snacks, do you see pigeons?
Hey, she said a lot better. So I think we're good.
All
So
right.
so anyway, where we left off. So we talked about again the hydration is the same in the winter as it is in the summer.
Yeah.
Sleep plan is a good plan just because you want to be well rested on the bike. Let's move on. Not unless there's something we miss. Let's move on to the bike itself.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay. For those that don't know, Preacher's got a bad motorcycle out there. I'm just saying, man. It's hard to hide money. I'm just saying.
Sarge got a bad one.
God, man, please. I'm on the rent to own plan. But anyway, Preacher's got a bad bike out there. And I can tell by just looking at his bike, man, he keeps his bike is in superb condition. So, brother, if you don't mind, let's speak on that. Getting your bike ready for a long distance ride. How do you get your bike ready? What's your prep game for your bike?
Well, most people are familiar with a safety or a T-clock type inspection of your bike. You're checking your tires, your cables, your fluids. So for me, I try to keep my bike ready every ride. So if I return from a ride, I'm prepping for the next ride, right? The most obvious things that we all talk about is oil. Make sure you got your fluids checked and changed. And then your tires. Man, Sarge, it kills me how much we don't pay attention to the tires. And that's what's on the ground.
Or inflation of the tires.
Yeah, or inflation of the tires. So we don't really pay a lot of attention to it. So for me, my process is I go pull the jack out before I leave. So let's post-flight or pre-flight rather.
Pre-flight, right.
Before I leave, I jack the bike up in the air, and I get on the ground, and I literally roll the tire. I put a latex glove on, and I roll the tire to try to feel for imperfections in it. And then obviously you're gonna eyeball it. You're gonna check it. That's the most important thing, and that part of it probably takes the longest because I'm meticulous about it. Yeah, I really take my time, and I do something simple for if you're new at doing this. Jack the bike up, and then you center your valve stem at the bottom, right? And then you can take your hand. I usually put one hand in the spokes, and I take another hand, and I set behind the wheel, and I just turn it. And then I turn it until I get back to the valve stem again, starting your end point.
Nice.
I start with the tires, and then I meticulously work my way up. Tires, fluids, spark plugs. We don't really check a whole lot, but spark plugs are pretty simple. You can get them pre-gapped. It's only 2 or 4 of them, depending on your bike. And that's a 10,000 mile thing. So I'll say 20,000. I'll change them. And so what I do is just you can't stop stuff from happening. So
Right.
what I do is I got 2 spark plugs on the bike now. Or well, actually 4 on the new one. I had to put 4 on that one because I went from the V twin to the 8.
To 8, right.
So I'll have that on the bike. Once I've checked the tires, once I've checked the fluids, then I check, spark. If those look good, they're good there. And then I'm pretty much the bike's ready to go. The minimum things are done. And then you want to eyeball your whole bike. You check for the new one. I just got that new one, so I haven't had it long enough to really say that I've seen anything kind of rattle or loose. But you remember the old V twins? Then I started checking like the shift linkage and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah, I started checking those things to make sure that they're straight on there. I haven't gotten that far advanced with this one just because it's new and I haven't really had to do anything to it. But so the basics: tires, fluids, spark, and then you eyeball your entire bike, walk around and make sure you don't see anything loose.
I just saw somebody said, need a jack. What's the best jack and where should they go to get it?
Most of us go to Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. That's what I was thinking.
Most of us go to Harbor Freight to get it.
Yeah. I've seen even now Cycle Gear sell them. I don't know how good those jacks are.
Yeah, the Harbor Freight 1500 works fine for me now. I've heard the war stories about people dropping their bike and all this other stuff, but look, you get everybody can't spend $1,000 on a jack for a motorcycle. So Harbor Freight, $200, you're gonna get a real sturdy jack. Our bikes are 1,000 wet, loaded down. And let's round up 1,500. There's really no reason your bike should be falling off the jack unless you're not careful.
Okay. So I was thinking of something else. I just lost my train of thought. So tires. We're gonna check for cracks.
Pop say JNS is worth. JNS is worth it.
JNS. Let's see what he say. It's worth it, but the cost. How much is a JNS jack?
Pops, how much is that jack? I want to say it's upwards to 1,000.
About $1,000.
Yeah, I think it's up there.
Okay. Well, just look at it like this: how much you pay for your bike? $1,000 is a good deal.
Yeah,
especially
Harbor Freight. You can do it. An ATV jack. I mean, that jack's 1,500 pounds. Like if people are not careful, you hear these stories. Oh, that jack's trash.
Yeah. But you were out there just running right through it, not being meticulous about making sure the bike
I had that jack. I had a Harbor Freight jack since I had Hardys, 7 years. I ain't never dropped a bike. I ain't never seen a bike wobble. Nothing.
So do you run in your bike year round synthetic, or do you run conventional oil? I see some people they have a preference, especially in the V twins. They prefer the conventional oil. Milwaukee 8, most people prefer synthetic. Do you have a preference in that?
It depends on what's done to the bike. My last V twin had motor work done to it. So you run conventional oil in a bike, a built motor.
I did mine too, my 15.
Conventional oil in a built motor. Synthetic oil is what I run. I like that VR, that high zinc synthetic oil. So I like the VR because you can find it. Now I'll cross blend. Like if I'm out and I don't have that synthetic on, I can go get that 2050 conventional and it's gonna be fine.
Right.
So Sarge, with me and oil is, I got kind of a love-hate relationship because I'm so meticulous. I look at the science of the oil. Like just because I'm curious. My mind's curious like that. The only real difference in synthetic oil and conventional oil is if one breaks down differently. So I'm gonna give you another layer to that. Why do you think Harley and everybody else really uses synthetic oil? Is it that much better than conventional in all this time that people have been driving? No, it's not. But if I got a bike sitting on my lot and it sit for 3 or 4 months, that synthetic oil ain't breaking down. I got to
That
go.
makes sense.
It's a cost. I got to go
Actually,
and
that makes
change
sense.
that
Yeah.
conventional oil
Yeah,
again.
that makes sense.
Same thing could be said for it.
Yeah.
Look, he done got me on one now.
Yeah.
I'm
Man,
on one.
I tell you, Preach is like a scientist biker. You
Look,
know, he
look.
just, hey man,
So this
Yeah.
this finna blow your mind, Sarge.
Okay.
But look, because it blew. When I was reading it, it just made me like, oh, okay. So y'all got me on one. So y'all just bear with me. So if you remember the older Harleys, like the '90s, what did it say? It said change your fluid every 3,000 miles.
Right.
It said change all your fluids every 3,000 miles. What changed with a 2022 and 99 from then to now that requires us to change them in longer intervals in the oil itself? Has oil changed that much? Oil been oil since it's been oil.
Yeah.
Since the Arabs in the 40s. It's been oil, been the same oil, right? Right. So, and yeah, we got synthetic, but so follow me with this. Our companies, automotive and Harley, they have notice how you guys see during election times it says we want to be green by 50-50. How you gonna be green, Sarge? The only way you can be green is limit your usage of said resource.
There you go.
Natural resource, right?
There you go.
So peep this. I still change everything every 4,000 miles because I don't have that score to go by. So when you have Harley, the reason your manual says change your oil at 5,000, your primary at 10,000, and your transmission at 15,000 is because they get a score based on that. So the least amount of resources they're using, oil, said thing, is going to increase their score.
Their green score.
Their green score.
Hey, man, let me say this, man.
Y'all, he got me on one. Sarge got me on one.
Hey, Preach done told you what it is, man. I'm telling you.
Knock it off, man. And I'm trying to be out here on the road. Every 4,000, everything getting changed.
Hey, man, Preacher spitting mad game today. I'm just telling you
everything getting changed, bro. I am not trying to be on the side of the road because your manual say wait 15,000 miles. No, sir.
Hey, y'all heard it, man. He broke it all the way down for you, man. Hey, I'm just saying. Woo, man, let me... Oh, wow. Okay.
No, sir. Every phone.
Hey,
changing everything.
Hey, Preacher's preaching, man. I'm just putting it out there for y'all. So, hey, damn what they say. That's what we gonna do. So that's what it is, man. So, like I said again, well, let's talk about this since we're still on the bike side. We talked about the preventive maintenance. We talked about inspection. Is there particular things that you keep on your bike, especially for this 10 to the end run, for emergencies and those type of things? Any type of things that you keep packed on the bike?
I do. Actually, I should have brought it in. It's so I carry a jump box.
Okay.
Hulk jump box is the one I run with. A Oser, portable charger, rechargeable, digital. You just set it to whatever your PSI is for front or back tire. Turn it on. That's the one.
I saw you do that when you did a video
tire
post.
check.
Yeah, tire check doing the ride itself. So for those who hadn't seen that, go back on the Iron Elite page. I think it was from about a day ago. That Preach had the little mini compressor box, and he was showing us how. I think I got you back. Okay, I got you back. He was showing us how he do a quick tire inflation, and also how he was checking the tire pressure as well as inspecting the tire, I think, on it. And so he was getting it in, and man, he was each one teach one on that highway. So okay, so that and anything else that we carry on the road.
Tools. I mean,
Tools.
I've always carried tools. So it's interesting. You get a new bike and you find that you feel like you don't need them. Because my bike has it doesn't have a whole bunch of miles on it. I think I put 5,000 on it since I got it, but less than 15 easy. So You think you don't need it, but tools, just your basic tools that you're gonna need. A 5/8.
Mm-hmm.
5/8 always gonna get your drain plugs for you.
Mm-hmm.
T27, most of like your primary and stuff like that. You want to just have those basic tools that you need for the bike, and it doesn't prevent things from happening having a new bike,
Mm-hmm.
but you can minimize a lot of things just by being prepared.
Oh, for sure. Just to be
Couple
able to
zip
tighten things up
ties,
here.
yeah.
Definitely zip ties. Something that I carry with me also is a small first aid kit.
Mhm.
With the standard band aids and alcohol and those type of things. I carry that as well. Do you carry like
I gotta put a first aid kit
first
back
aid
on. I don't have one
one
on
on
this
that one?
bike. I pull.
Yeah.
You know what you find out you do if y'all out a lot,
Mm-hmm.
you find that you give things away,
Yeah.
and then
Club
you
brother needs this.
then you
Yeah.
forget to
Yeah.
replace them.
Yeah.
So like shift linkage,
Mhm.
I gave one away and actually needed one,
Mhm.
so I had to put my hand down there and get it, keep it moving, get it to 6 and
Yeah.
go all the way. But yeah, I gotta to your point, I gotta
Yeah.
replace the first aid kit.
Yeah.
I do keep that on my bike though.
So do you have the stock shift linkage on your bike right now?
I do on that one.
Yeah.
You know, Sarge, I think I'm gonna leave it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it cosmetically it doesn't look very appealing. I might upgrade. To
I
the,
just don't think I don't think they last, man. The
Yeah.
stock ones, they go there. I don't know about the new bikes, but no, I don't think they last, bro.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually the first one of the Harleys I've had that I didn't change it immediately.
I changed mine. I changed mine because I've got a 23 like you.
Mhm.
I've changed my matter of fact. Before I even took it off the showroom floor, I took the stock one off, and
Yeah.
I just kept the stock one because I just see and it could be from riders, slamming the gears or whatever, but it just seemed like after a couple years, man, it is there she
Yeah,
blows
yeah.
with those things.
I don't know what your opinion is of this, but depending on what you start riding,
Mm-hmm.
you ride different,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the reason I don't really do big motors on Harleys
Mhm.
or care really to race them is because I came from racing
Mm-hmm.
Hayabusas, racing BMWs. I came from racing fast bikes. So think about it. For a cat that really can race, the term slow is smooth,
Mhm.
smooth is fast is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You shift slow, like I'm soft with it.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, I'm fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all feather in the clutch and understanding where you need to be. Or if you power shift, you put pressure on the clutch and you can shift it with the throttle.
Right.
But for the cat that really can run.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found when I went over to Harley, still the same thing. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I don't shift hard. Like my
I
club
don't
brothers
either.
be
I don't either. First of all, because I don't want to tear nothing up.
be stomping
Yeah.
on.
Mm-mm.
Club brother be stomping on. I'll see them. We on the highway and all you
Yeah,
see is they see their leg.
Yeah. Especially when they're downshifting, man. They
Yeah.
are just like you kicking a damn horse. Like, bro,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah,
okay?
look.
All right. When
He
you're on the
said,
side of the
like-
road.
Yeah, and I had a
Yeah.
brother. Preach, man, it's like on a horse, bro. I grew up in the country. We don't kick horses like
Don't kick
that.
no damn horse.
A
Horse probably kick you
gonna
back.
kick you back.
Probably
What?
kick you back.
You might kick him once.
Yeah.
He-
Yeah.
he tearing you off.
Yeah, he
bitch
even
you,
told
reach
he
back
even
and
told
bitch
me
you.
a whole lot of
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll probably put the
Mhm.
I think cosmetically they just don't look appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one really break though.
Okay.
At least not after it took 50, 60,000 miles for something that.
But no, it's just me, man. I get kind of freaked out on that stuff because I see a lot of people have issues with them, and I guess like you said, if you're a smooth shifter and you one of those kind of guys, you're gonna be very meticulous with your bike. I guess it is what it is at the end of the day.
I'm
here's what
soft
is.
with it, so
Yeah,
it don't
for
take
sure.
a lot of pressure. I mean, you really want the bike to run for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you should ride it like you want it to. Now, if you don't want it to last,
Mhm.
or you just some of our brothers got that money that they just
Not me.
I'm not him.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
I budget.
Shout out to Low Key. He might be that guy.
Yeah.
He might be that guy.
Him and Reed, him and Reed.
Him and
Reed
Reed
got
might be.
about,
Yeah.
He got about 17 bikes.
Yeah, that might be him and Reef that's got that thing. So anything else? So we talked about air compressor. We talked about spare parts, a universal tool or tools for roadside. Anything else? on the bike side, on the mechanical side, that you think is necessary to carry on the bike for this 10 to the end? I know we can't carry a whole maintenance shed, but anything else that, or you think those things are basic enough for us to be able to travel long distances with?
So I think you can take those things, and I think you'll be okay. I think that the
Okay.
important part of it is understanding where your bike is in the maintenance schedule before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I only had about 13. Let's round up. I always round up when you hear me say stuff. If
Mm-hmm.
I had 13 and some change, I have 1,400 miles on the oil,
Mm-hmm.
right? I typically run 4,000, and I change every 4,000 because I most of my miles are highway miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm on the highway the whole time, I'll run 4,000. If I got any city riding in that, it's gonna be three. If I have a majority, let's say I had 1,000 miles in the city, then I'm changing it every 3,000.
I like that. I like.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I I typically go for my long distances. I do 4,500. I do 4,500. City is 3,000. Period.
Mm.
That's really I don't. Never mind.
Yeah.
If you're in
I,
Duval and you
yeah.
see Sarge riding in the city, man,
Mm.
salute, cause I can give less than a damn.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
gonna
get.
be honest with you.
It's rare that
Yeah,
I
I
get a
don't do my
thousand.
city.
Rare that
Yeah,
I get a
yeah.
1,000 city miles.
I don't. You know, my club brother's gonna get mad, but I'm gonna ride to the clubhouse to do the meeting. But whatever. I can
Yeah.
care less about riding in the city.
That's it.
I save
Bike
all
night.
my miles for Yonda.
Mhm.
That's just me. That's just what I do.
Bike
Everything
night.
else for Yondas. Yeah. So okay. So we've covered. Just recap real quick. So we covered weather apps, technology. We've covered clothing and equipment. We've covered roadside things that we carry on the bike during the trip. We've even covered the bike maintenance itself. Okay, let's if you don't mind, we're gonna start rounding this in the home, and we're gonna talk about what does it take money wise to do 10 to the end, because I've heard some people say, sorry, it don't cost nothing but $1,000. I heard some people say, no, sorry, about $3,000. What do you think I need to bring and what I need to have to make this kind of trip?
Okay. So we talked about apps. Let me give you another app.
Okay.
Gas calculator.
Okay.
Because you got to know what your gas is going to cost, and you got to know what your hotel is going to cost, depending on how far you're staying. And everything, remember, is rough math. So the rough math with gas at 440, let's say premium. We're gonna say we know that it's about $1 less over here. So I'm gonna say 440.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's roughly $120 every 1,000 miles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we got, let's say 120, 1,000 miles. We know that this trip is 2,500 one way,
Right.
right? From whatever your start point. Like for me, I had to go 400 miles to get to the starting point,
Right.
right? So I calculated my whole trip is going to be roughly about 5,000 miles.
Okay.
5,000 give or take, unless I'm moving around, which I'm going to do. So I think I got up to 6,000. 6,000 miles, roughly $700. So that's just gas. Then if you figure, depending on how many days you're gonna do,
Okay.
you want to count your hotel days. You know. Now let me say that. Let me preference it by saying this. Iron Elite family is amazing. I can't remember every name that either Cash App me, called me,
It's bananas, isn't it?
text me.
Yeah.
Man, like I
Yeah.
can't, it's humbling to see how many messages said, "Hey, get you a tank or get you something to
That
eat
part.
and
That
get you
part.
a tank."
That part.
So those that have done the ride or those that aspire to do the ride, I mean, mad love and respect for them. And it's different for me, Sarge, because I do it a lot to brothers or people that I know that are coming. Hey, send me your Cash App,
Mm-hmm.
and you do it just because it's the ride, right?
Right.
So it's still humbling for me for it to happen to me. Like I do it because that's what I do, but on the receiving end, that's special. Like that's special.
You know, I say this real quick, if you don't mind. I say this, and I've said this to some guys have actually come through and say, "Hey, Sarge, it's not that big of a deal. I'm good. I don't need any money or whatever." I'm just like, bro, let me explain to you something. Social experiment. You're giving us something. You're giving us something. So for us to want to give you something back, receive that blessing. You're giving us something. If it's a tank of gas for Preach to show me how to inspect a certain thing on my bike, if it's a tank of gas for Preach to teach me how to look for the right cold weather riding suit, that money is well invested.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the beauty of the whole each one teach one. That's the whole beauty of giving to receive. You have to give of yourself to receive, and it kind of works hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I love it, man. It's a phenomenon that I'm so proud of. I understand people's heart earn money, so when they share their money with you, you're doing something right. You're living in a good space.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. It was just real cool, and it's yet to like I'm like, damn, well, what can I do? Like it just kind of got my mind. So when
Yeah.
I'm out, I'm thinking about different things.
Right.
It's like, man, what can I do different, or what can I do better? And you make a good point when you say, it's part of the social experiment.
Right.
Think about this too, because this was a thought. Matter of fact, I'll tell you exactly where I was. I was between Mississippi and Mobile when I was trying to figure out if I'm gonna try to make it to this damn Bucky's or I'm gonna stop early. But the thought was this: we always look as people, and it doesn't matter your ethnicity. You always think the hookup, right?
Right.
Let me get the hookup. You know, not when you got a cat like Sarge. If you did something, I'll use Punch. Punch got everybody know the candy shop,
For sure.
right? Punch can do certain maintenance probably in about 15 minutes. Harley might call for an hour for that. But you think, because Punch my boy or my brother or my partner, that I'm going to get a hookup price. Nah, pimping. I'm going to pay him the Harley price.
Right.
Just because he can do it faster, that's him doing it over time
Right.
and effort and all those other things. So my point of that is when I was thinking about people sharing and giving of themselves, it was like, man, you got to consistently give them the effort. So I know it ain't $25 to fill up that tank. That's my point. It ain't $25 to fill up the tank. It was 16 sometimes. Actually, hell, it was. I took a picture of it because it was 5 gallons, $16. When I was in San Bernardino,
Right.
it was $30 for the same 5 gallons. So it just made me think, whatever my number is, anytime I try to bless somebody with a gift, that's the number.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the effort is. That's the number. And I think consistently, if we do that consistently, that's when you get that whole village mentality,
That part.
helping each other. So yeah, that's if you don't know it, I'm a deep thinker.
Yeah, for sure.
That was
for sure.
that was what I was
Yeah,
thinking about when it
for
came
sure.
to stuff like that.
Like I said, this for everybody out here, this I-10 to the end brief with Preach is a little bit different because I think what Preach brings to the table is so much more than just what you do on day one, what you do on day 2 and day 3. He truly is I like to consider as a subject matter expert when it comes to long distance riding. And his experiences are so much more valuable to us to share it in this way. So I chose and I asked him if he didn't mind for us to be able to speak on it in this manner. If you don't mind, Preach, so I'm going to bring it on in because I know you got things to do.
I got work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So summing it up, how would we sum up this ride? Good, not so good. How would you sum it up in your words? And what is the value of this ride?
This thing on.
Oh yes, sir. We finna go to town now.
Epic.
Epic. Okay. Okay.
It was epic.
It was epic. Okay.
So to surmise the ride, my thoughts are just to share what I see. That's the whole point of encouraging people. And so when I posted last Wednesday or Thursday, I wonder what it's like to see the sunset in Santa Monica
Hello.
and then watch the sunrise a few days later in Jacksonville. I'd already made up in my mind when they approve this time, I'm gonna jump out a window.
Hey, I'm telling you something real quick, real quick. He was not playing because when he called me that Thursday, hey Sarge, man, as soon as I put in the leave, I get it approved, I'm going. He hit me back within minutes, Sarge, I'm on my way. And I never thought he was joking. He wasn't playing no games with it.
Yeah. So the for me, I always say, y'all, I learn something on every ride. And if you go back and you look at the post of the sunrise, it just really talks to you don't know what you can do as a rider, as a human being, as a person until you try to push yourself so you can see how far you can go. So I ride the distance. I became a long distance rider not because it was something I aspired to do. I became a long distance rider or a endurance rider, if you will, out of necessity. I got to go back to work, pimp.
Yes, sir.
I work for somebody.
Yes, sir.
So I got to go back to work. And just how can I maximize my time turned into Team No Trailer.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that's what happened. So
Yeah.
if I could sum this ride up, this is by far the best ride I've ever had in December.
Wow.
There were just so many components to it that made it epic. The weather. How often in December do you really catch weather? Think about and we're not talking about one place. We're talking about the country.
No, never. No, never.
Not
Not never.
We're talking about the country.
Yeah,
We're talking
for
about
sure.
not
one in the
just
country.
one
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
Not East Coast, Midwest, South, West Coast. Whole country.
Mm-hmm.
Like it couldn't have been planned better. Now, inclement, I've been in 35 to 70 the trip, so the gear and the preparation obviously helps you with that. But the ride, Santa Monica at the pier, I remember talking to just some tourists, so intrigued by what we do when it came to the motorcycle, or the guy in Van Horn, Texas, who had the simple-minded thought process to say, why doesn't the gas cap open
I remember that
the
the
other
other
way?
way. Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's crazy. Or the Creole cat in the gas station that walk around with diesel ding-a-ling all day. He don't want to wash his hands before he go to the bathroom. Like,
Man.
like bro, you 76 years old and you ain't thought in your whole life that you should wash your hands, bro. You walking around like that? Fire starter?
That's some real gas station shenanigans.
Yeah. So you
Right.
got that, or my brother. Shout out to Buck Bree, my brother.
Yeah.
That met me to escort me through his city.
Yeah.
My brother next to me.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna come
Yeah.
chilling. I'm gonna come
Chilling.
hang out with you.
Yeah.
Or all of the other brothers and not tonight, but every brother in the empire, across the empire, I've either got a text message, a call, or I'm gonna pull up on you, or Preach, I know you press for time, so what can I do for you if you need somewhere to stay? GQ in New Orleans, anywhere along the route, they was on. Or my brothers that's tapping in with me this morning.
Yeah.
Hey man, we gonna come meet you to bring you in.
That's what's up.
Like so you look at all those components, that's what makes it epic. And then here's the other layer to it. The added layer to it is people that maybe not are part of the social experiment or on the Iron Elite page that are on my page.
Right.
Just motorcycling, right?
Right.
Aspire to do something like it or similar to it. You know what I'm saying? Or the new friends that I've met from the Iron Elite page that say, hey, you did that or whatever. Or they see a sunset, a sunrise, or something to aspire them to want to do something. So mission accomplished, man. That's what I'm talking about.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let me do this, man. Hey, preach always putting down them jewels, man. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Hey, man, I could do this forever, all day, but I know preachers got things to do. Oh, by the way, Sarge has
Man,
got
knock it
things to
off.
do.
Knock it off with that hat. I ain't showing nobody
Chilling,
that hat.
hey,
I'm not-
chilling for the show you the hat.
I ain't showing nobody.
Hey, man, so I'm gonna do it for him, then. I'm gonna do it for him. So, preachers got the hat up. Chilling came through, man. My man, 50 grand. He hit me up and he say, Sarge, man, I just saw Preach Breed on the ground. He said, Sarge, I'm coming over. I don't give a damn what you got going on. I'm coming over. I want to be part. I want to spend a little bit of time with my man. I want to chop it up. I want to hear some of his stories, man. So mad love to preach. That's the kind of inspiration he's putting out there, man. I don't want to embarrass him, but I'm gonna embarrass him anyway. He's that kind of dude, man. I'm just saying. So it's an honor, it's a privilege today to have him on the podcast. Hopefully, you guys get a lot of the podcast today. Hey, preach any last words, man, before we shut this thing down?
Man, just keep the motorcycles. I mean, I think this is something that we should do more often. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of in the motorcycle world. We do a lot of annuals. We do a lot of parties. We do a lot of flash, but I chose to do the ride by myself because it's a lot of alone time to kind of reflect, and I'm on the clock. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
that
right.
if you can do it with a group, I recommend doing it with a group. Definitely next time I do it, I want to see if some brothers want to come over. We'll obviously break it up. Tell y'all now, look, we can break it up. We can do 700 a day. We do 700 a day. So y'all, I don't expect y'all, and the gas stops can be 25 minutes.
Hey, because Preach was on the express tour.
they can be 25 minutes.
Yeah, he got here quick.
Anything over that, we gonna have to talk
Yeah.
about it. But yeah, man, I would definitely recommend it. And then wife's name's Mrs. Is that Miss D?
Just yeah, Miss
Look,
D.
Look, y'all, hey, Miss D, cook that breakfast. I know y'all can't see my face, but I'm whispering because it's a whispering of a lifetime. That food was on point. Man,
hey,
we
man.
eat good. Fire.
Yeah, shout out to D, man. The wife, she always keeps it
Yeah,
together
I'm
for
trying to
us.
get a couple of them sausages. Miss D, if I can get a couple of them sausages for the highway, it's 2 slices of bread. Come on.
Hey, don't worry, she ain't listening. She listening.
Hey, look here. Sarge is, man, we appreciate you opening
Appreciate
your
you,
home.
brother.
Man.
My pleasure.
Very
My pleasure.
hospitable. Breakfast was, we couldn't have went nowhere. So I think the universe, everything happens for a reason. And it's my last and I'm done. Everything happens for a reason. So sometimes you try to plan stuff out and organically it turns into something different. That's what this trip was for me. It just organically, I had in my mind what was going to happen, but it just manifested into something else, man. It was a lot of jewels in it, a lot of life lessons, a lot of learning, a lot of discipline to refine the process when I go back and ride again. So yeah, good stuff, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad I could be a part of it.
That's what's up. Hey, man, so we're going to do this. Hey, so mad love out there, mad love to preach, man. Hey, y'all cheer him on. Don't forget the social experiment don't end until he makes it back to home base, man. So we're gonna continue to love on him. We're gonna continue to pray for him, and let's continue to support him, man. Because you know he gonna keep dropping jewels while he's on that highway, getting it back to the West Coast, back to Vegas, man. So also some quick admin notes before I shut this thing down. Iron Elite Pan Tribute to Black History event. 2 through 3 February 2024. Hey man, if you hadn't made plans, please go ahead and make plans. Everything that you need to know about the event is on the Pent section at the top of the Iron Elite page. Hotel, Overflow Hotel, the flyer, the who, what, when, where, and how is all at the top portion of the page. I have a lot of riders who are getting ready to register for the I-10 to the end that are coming over for the event, and they're going to parlay on I-10 to the end ride. So those guys, I'll be linking in with you guys. I suggest you guys continue to follow the series, the Road to Iron Elite, the podcast series. It'll be going this Saturday. I'm not quite sure if we're going to have a Sunday show, but I'm kind of got some things in the work. But Saturday, I'm going to have some folks on, some real superstars. we're going to be talking about technology. When we talk about technology, we're talking about the apps and the different things that we use electronically to help us with a long distance Yonda ride. We're going to be talking about perks, hotels. We're going to talk about planning. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about those type of support units that we have when we're on the road. So y'all stay tuned for that Iron Elite podcast on Saturday, the road to Iron Elite. It'll be Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? So if you're on the West Coast, that's 9 o'clock. That's 8 o'clock, I'm sorry. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock a.m. So with that being said, hey, man, we're going to tell you guys, have a good day, and y'all keep it motorcycling, man.
Hey, Sarge.
Yes, sir.
While I'm thinking about it, we talked about thanking everybody for what just comments and everything.
Okay.
We motorcycle guys. Some of us are independent. Some of us are in clubs. Let me just say this, and then I'm out. I'm done. Shout out to Rare Breed Empire, Kings of the South, Next Level, all of them. Down the Pound, all of them. Queens of the South, all of them. Queens of Harlem. I know I'm forgetting a couple names. Deuces, a lot of cats. I see you, T. Luke. I'm finna call you right back.
T. Luke on here.
Yeah.
T. Luke.
Yeah.
I see Country on here too.
Shout out to them clubs, just because them brothers I've met over the years. It's like I'm in their club.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? They just all love and support. So I always try to give them their flowers, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it.
Hey, well, since I know I got to get my hat off, I know my wife done already hit me. Husband, you got a job to go to. Okay. I'm going to say this, man. Just to dovetail on what you were saying, there's some guys out there, Rare Breed, Down the Pound, Soul Brothers.
Yeah.
It's some guys out there, and a lot of independents have been out there that have really been supporting this whole I-10 to the end, get out, man, for a couple years now. And I just want you guys to know, even the people that are independent that don't rock with a club, there's been a movement in this whole Iron Elite get out, man. I call them my family, the Iron Elite family, have made this thing so strong, so powerful. People tell me all the time, Sarge, man, you don't know what you got going on, what you're doing over there, man. You're doing, bro, Sarge ain't doing nothing. The people are doing it. The people are doing it. Sarge is trying not to get in the way. But the people are making this thing stronger and more successful each and every day. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate what you do. You guys, without you guys, this thing wouldn't be nothing. It truly belongs to the people. Somebody asked me, this last word, I'm going to let it go. Somebody asked me one day, this was a few months ago, they said, Sarge, you imagine how much, you could do if you had some corporate sponsorship. And I listened, and I let them go ahead and talk about it. And, you can do this, and you can have this, and you can do this. And I said, I appreciate your opinion, brother, but can you imagine how strong it could be if we did it ourselves? If we did it. The true power of this thing is in the people, not in the corporations. It's in the people. And when the people have the power, the people make decisions. Because as soon as you put it in the hands of somebody else, then they become the power. So we're going to keep this thing organic the way it is, ran and owned and operated by the people, for us, about us. That way we can keep this consistent the way we want it done. So that's all I got to say on it, man. I'm going to shut this thing on down, man. Y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate Preach again. Chilling, appreciate you coming through. And wife, most importantly, I appreciate you, because I'm taking credit for breakfast I ain't even cooked. But I appreciate you. Mad love to everybody. There it is, fellas. Okay, Tim.